Thank you, Your Worship. I will keep my comments as brief as possible. Yeah, my name is Matthew Rios. I live above 434 Main Street, apartment number 4. Today I come not only as a student, but also as a community member, but more importantly, I think in this context, as a representative of 3,400 constituents within this town, as the Student Union President of Acadia University. I guess I'll separate my two issues or general themes that I want to talk about this evening. One directly in regards to my support, my overall support of the development. As an individual within a council, I love social discourse. I think discourse is great, and I think that there have been a lot of valuable comments made this evening. From my perspective, one of a student, but one also working very closely with the town in order to mitigate some of the ongoing issues that we see in relation to students within our university, but also permanent residents within the town. I would make the suggestion strongly that this project actually looks to mitigate some of those concerns that have been previously raised. As Chris sort of alluded to earlier, and as certainly my letter submission has outlined, my belief is that this town, I'll preface my comments in knowing that both my current landlord, Mr. Raffi, and my future landlord, Mr. Salgado, are here this evening. I would comment that this town actually has an abundance of poor regulated and poor quality housing units within this town. I think that actually leads to the residual effects that many of our town residents see on a day-to-day basis. What I allude to are the nuisance claims, the acts of vandalism, and noise disturbances. I strongly feel, and certainly through empirical data that we're starting to gather at the university, that the locations and the units that are of high quality in which the landlord is one, present, two, engaged, we see a dramatic decrease in terms of complaints and nuisances that occur on those properties. Certainly I can't say that that hits every single time, but I would say by and large our data is starting to show that right now. The second area would be that I think more specifically to this development that Chris has been proposing, which is quite interesting. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for students, and I think more directly to some of the complaints that have come forward in regards to concerns around noise. I believe the word party hotbed or student residence on Main Street has sort of been alluded to. I don't see any validity in those comments. The development plans, at least that I've seen, certainly don't lend themselves to have a party atmosphere in the fact that they're one unit rooms. There are not common lounges like there are in residence on every single floor. My understanding is that there will be an on-site supervisor to be able to address issues as they come forward, and I actually have taken the opportunity to talk to my colleagues in Antigonish to see what the student feedback has been with the units there, and by and large they've been absolutely fantastic. So in that light, and certainly within that spectrum, I will only speak to in support, and I think again, to reiterate, I think it really will address some of the residual effects that we've seen in other units. The second theme that I really want to speak to tonight, and it's not necessarily just to council, but to us as a community as a whole, I would really challenge individuals here to really question the way in which they throw around the loose term of student. Tonight, students have been generalized, I think, in a really negative way, and for that I'm really apologetic, not only to all of the community, but also to the rest of my constituents that aren't here tonight. We've actually brought two students, Caleb and Brooke, who are going to be working closely with the town this year. They're working very closely with our CAO in being able to identify and mitigate ongoing concerns that the community have raised in regards to nuisances, noise, and other such bylaw infractions. These two actually took time out of their day to come this evening to really get a good sense of what the community feels around students and what the environment that they're going to be going and doing some research around looks like. I'm really apologetic that this is the meeting that they had to come to. I would really love to see the data that supports the fact that private lanes are an opportunity for students to break the law. And certainly I would look to some of the individuals on council who have sat on the RCMP advisory board to question whether or not that is an epidemic that we're seeing in our town. And if so, I'd love to see the data because I think that that's something that we really would like to work on and address. The secondary part is the generalization that students in general have a negative effect to this town. That concerns me greatly. Our campus university, our campus community, I think, steps up time and time again in providing a volunteer base for the entire valley, not just Wolfville. Formally, we've now just made an agreement with the Larch Group to be able to be primary sponsors in ensuring that that development moves forward and it's something that we're very, very excited for. I can go on and think about some of the initiatives that the students of Acadia have spearheaded in the past, but I think my point resonates, that we need to be very, very careful on how we reference students, and hopefully we do take into account the tremendous benefit that having a student constituency within a town has for the town of Wolfville in general. So again, I will speak in favor of this. I think it's a fantastic opportunity, and I believe and I hope that we can continue as a community to have broader discussions around what our town looks like and what the relationship between students and permanent residents look like. Again, and just for the minutes, I'd like to provide my email address, which is matthew.rios@acadiau.ca, for anyone that have questions, concerns, issues that they'd like addressed. I really would like to address some of the issues that residents have come forward with in regards to student issues. I think that's a fantastic opportunity to, 1, mitigate them, 2, address them, and 3, provide some more pertinent information. So again, thank you very much for letting me have the opportunity to speak.